Chapter 33, Megan was stunned. Why did this girl suddenly treat her so heartlessly, even calling her Mrs. Ashford? Although the days they lived together were not very comfortable, when Serafina was unhappy living in the Beaumont family, she had called her crying and complaining. Although Serafina had followed her through all kinds of hardships in her previous life, she still considered her her mother. Until the day she squatted in front of the door, holding a recording pen, listening to the conversation between Megan and Lily with tears pouring down her face. And now, Megan had never told this secret to anyone. Of course she didn't know that Serafina had seen through her face. She even acted like a mother who tolerated her daughter's mistakes, and said affectionately, "Yes, you are Serafina, but today you seem to be in a bad mood. Do you want Mom to?" "Mrs. Ashford." Serafina's voice turned cold. "Please pay attention to your choice of words, you are not my mother." Her voice was quite loud, and people around her looked over. Megan's birthday party today had very few young people attending, mainly rich ladies around her age, and these people liked to hear gossip the most. "Serafina, you," Megan was surprised, "how can you talk to me like that?" Serafina's tone was not friendly. "Mrs. Ashford, when I first entered university, you wanted to sell me to make money for yourself. Because of this, we had an argument and cut off all ties, don't you remember?" Megan's face turned pale. When the two of them had an argument, Serafina ran away to school and never came back. But the two of them still had contact, not completely cut off. Even though the people around didn't look over here, their ears were clearly perked up. Megan decided to lie casually. "What are you talking about? Why can't I understand?" Serafina interrupted. "Swear by Lily's happiness that you don't know." Megan immediately hesitated. Serafina didn't give her time to think or lie, immediately smiled faintly. "There are some things, heaven knows, earth knows, you know, that's enough. At least for your conscience, please don't continue to pretend to be intimate with me. You've already climbed to the position of the Ashford family's wife. Do you still want to use me to gain something from the Beaumont family?" Megan heard Serafina say that. She was afraid that she had lost all face. She used to be an actress, and in just a moment, she became sentimental. "You were raised by me. We are not related by blood, but we have a relationship. At least I raised you. For the past half year since I moved into the Beaumont family, you have never taken the initiative to contact me. Is this your relationship? Regarding the kindness of raising me, the Beaumont family also raised your daughter for 18 years. How do you think you should repay?" Furthermore, Serafina coldly curled her lips. "I don't even know who your illegitimate child is. I still remember, that family's wife came to our door several times, almost selling me to human traffickers. At least, my mother didn't implicate your illegitimate child, right?" These words hurt them quite a bit. From the beginning, Megan told outsiders that Lily was an orphan since birth. Her father was a soldier, and suddenly passed away while on duty. But now Serafina revealed it, making everyone around guess. Could it be that Megan is the third person? Is Lily an illegitimate child? Megan stood in the midst of the contemptuous gazes of the people around her in a dilemma. Today was her birthday, her official debut. How could she have expected that Serafina would expose all the outrageous things that had embarrassed her in the past, even humiliating her precious daughter? She had not taken good care of her daughter for the past 18 years and she felt extremely guilty. Now she wanted to make it up to her, but Serafina did this. She tried to suppress her emotions. She really didn't understand why her obedient daughter from before had suddenly changed her character, but she wasn't so easily drawn in. She smiled elegantly. "Serafina, how can you talk nonsense? Lily's father was a soldier, and he passed away a long time ago. The people who came to arrest you back then were just the old-fashioned uncles from my maternal side. However, after you became the eldest daughter of the Beaumont family, you really did have a lot of style, but the obedient little girl before, now, she seemed to be lenient in choosing her words, too willful. You and I have a misunderstanding. It's fine if you don't want to call me mother. After all, I'm your uncle's wife now. But I can't call you aunt either." Serafina saw her being so polite, and smiled very cleverly. "I only have one aunt, and she's still in a vegetative state. If I call you aunt, wouldn't that be like cursing her?" Megan's face twitched, and she nodded. The descendants of a big family are different, worrying too much. Half a year without seeing each other, you've become more and more educated. Is she secretly mocking her for being uneducated? Serafina smiled innocently. Of course, my previous education was all thanks to you. Megan choked, her cheeks flushed. Serafina smiled, Mrs. Ashford, happy birthday. With that, she walked straight into the main hall. But when she looked around, she saw a clever and elegant woman looking at her. The corner of her crimson lips seemed to hide a hint of a smile, like a strange compliment. This is William and Hannah's mother, Mia Brown. She smiled politely, nodded slightly, and walked ahead. Megan was left behind by everyone's scrutinizing and happy looks at others' misfortunes, feeling like there were thorns on her back. She wanted to take this opportunity to show off her elegant image, to join the upper class, but was ruined by Serafina from the beginning. She invited Serafina here, purely to create an opportunity to show her motherly love. She even thought of taking advantage of the Beaumont family's eldest daughter. But today, this daughter has grown up, no longer listening to her. She also knows all of her previous bad deeds. What should she do? Megan was very embarrassed. The ladies were still gathered together, continuing the happy conversation just now. But she knew very well that they were all perceptive people. How could they not hear the sarcasm in her and Serafina's words? On the outside, they were still smiling happily, but perhaps the glances they exchanged said, look at that woman who doesn't know how to restrain herself. Even if she is with a rich man, she still can't change the vile smell that emanates from her body. She felt that she had never lost face in her life like today, and slightly raised her eyes to see Olivia standing beside her, looking at her expressionlessly. She thought that this was still the same useless and soft-hearted best friend from before, so she went up and pulled her hand. You're here, I didn't see you just now. Olivia shook her hand away, her smile disappeared, and her tone was also very cold. Megan, Serafina told me. So all these years, you've been mistreating her. Is this how you treat my daughter? Megan's cheerful expression turned stiff, but she quickly responded, why do you say that? It's just that I'm so poor that I can't give her the best material life. I didn't know she was your daughter, and I also treated her like my own child. I just blame myself for being useless, unlike you. Olivia's face darkened, and she didn't say anything. No matter what Megan said, just thinking about how much suffering her daughter had to endure made Olivia suffocate. She had been so good to Lily all these years, but how had Megan treated her daughter? Just as Lily arrived, Olivia was already feeling uncomfortable, and she didn't smile warmly on the surface. Lily was surprised. When she arrived just now, the eyes of the rich ladies looked at her strangely and pryingly, making her very upset. And now, even Olivia was not as enthusiastic as before, making her even more uncomfortable. Lily knew that Olivia was someone who liked to hear sweet words, so she smiled brightly like a flower and approached, intimately holding her arm, her voice as sweet as sugar cane. Mom, since Theodore's birthday, it's been a few days since I've seen you. I miss you to death. After saying that, she acted spoiled and leaned her head on Olivia's shoulder. I really want to be with you every day, to see you every day. Lily's words were somewhat sincere. To be honest, compared to her biological mother, she hoped that Olivia was her mother more. Although Olivia was usually indecisive at home, she had been groomed by the upper class for 20 years, and her life had never been filled with worries. She was very comfortable and leisurely, and no matter where she was, she still maintained a beautiful image and a noble temperament. Like today, her pale yellow long dress made her look like a movie star. Megan, on the other hand, although she has been taking good care of herself recently, but having lived in poverty for many years, her skin is very bad. She can only wear heavy makeup. No matter how you look at it, she looks like a dusty person, making the Chanel dress on her look even more out of place. Of course, the most important thing is that Megan is not as rich as Olivia. Megan saw that Olivia did not want to talk to her, and almost lost all face. Fortunately, Lily came to coax her and act spoiled. She immediately took the opportunity to say, look, she is still closer to you. I'm so jealous. She pushed a sentence, but unexpectedly got the opposite reaction. Olivia couldn't help but think, that's right, Lily is so close to her. Serafina will be jealous when she sees it. No, she will be heartbroken. Olivia was stunned, looking around, only to see her daughter sitting at a small table nearby, eating fruit while looking at her. There seemed to be a hint of a smile, but her eyes were a bit cold. She felt heartbroken, stiffly curling her lips and saying, "Why are you jealous of me? Lily was born by you anyway, how could she be closer to me?" Megan covered her mouth and smiled, not hearing the other meaning in her words, thinking Olivia was flattering. Lily felt something was not quite right. A second later, Olivia pushed Lily's hand away, gently saying, "Serafina is alone, doesn't know anyone, I'll go over there with her." Lily watched Olivia's elegant back as she walked towards Serafina, unable to believe it. Why is Olivia like this today? Why is she suddenly treating Serafina so well? Moreover, did the previous sentence imply that no matter how close she was not as good as Serafina, who was born by Olivia? Will Olivia side with Serafina in the future? Olivia went to sit next to Serafina, ate fruit with her for a while, then saw other mothers sitting and chatting on the sofa outside the balcony, so she pulled her daughter's hand and said intimately, "There are many people you don't know. Mom will take you to meet them, okay?" Serafina thought that Dr. Samuel Scott would be here in a while. Sitting here was boring, and the two of them had agreed to be a close mother and daughter couple in public, so she followed Olivia. On the balcony, Vivian and Lily were chatting with a few ladies, chattering happily. Seeing Olivia and Serafina coming, a very beautiful and gentle-looking woman smiled. "Is this the eldest young lady of the Beaumont family? So beautiful." Serafina quickly bowed and greeted, smiling shyly in return. Olivia introduced, "This is Andrew's mother, also Harrison's aunt, you've met them before." "Hello, Auntie." Serafina smiled brightly, thinking to herself, no wonder Andrew and Harrison are both so handsome. Looking at their relatives, you know the reason. She saw William's mother, Mia, again, with that same appraising and interested gaze. She was indeed the type of strong businesswoman, her gaze was still sharp no matter how gentle. This made her feel a bit confused. She greeted everyone before sitting down with her mother. Vivian also came to sit next to her, hugging her and talking. Olivia saw that and smiled and said, "I know you two are close sisters, but there's no need to express it like that." Vivian giggled and hugged Serafina even tighter. "Serafina is the best, I like her the most." Serafina didn't mind, she let her do whatever she wanted. There were teasing laughs all around. Lily smiled awkwardly, her expression not looking very good. After the photo incident, Vivian felt guilty and treated Serafina much better. Let's not mention this for now. The point is that the mother's attention was all on Serafina. She was very unhappy. But there was no other way. In the eyes of the mothers, no matter how tactful and polite she was just a daughter of unknown origin, absolutely not a candidate for the position of daughter-in-law. Even if the Ashford family was considered, in the eyes of the elders, there was already the perfect Vivian blocking the way. It was not her turn. Moreover, if her illegitimate child identity was revealed, the situation would be even worse. She really hoped that her father, a soldier, had died just like Megan said.